the information I have, yes, so that we do not allow for rumor mongering. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very sad day. It's unfortunate that this is happening within the first 2 weeks of the new year 2021. At round about 8 o'clock this morning, it is reported that this trailer tanker that we see behind me was coming probably from Shagamu area, heading towards Ibara. And it appears, subject to confirmation by engineers, that it might have suffered a brake failure as it was descending the Kuta Bridge. And it appeared as if the driver, in his effort to manage that situation where the vehicle had spun out of control, observers saw him trying to warn people that he appeared to have lost control of the vehicle. He swerved across the median, tried to manage the vehicle to come back to the other side where he was. In the process, he collided with a few vehicles and some Okada drivers. The tanker driver, now upturned, was carrying a full load of PMS, that's premium motor spirit petrol. And in view of what we know as the very inflammable nature of this product, it resulted in a fire outbreak. Unfortunately, some of those that the vehicle collided with were trapped under the vehicle, and they were instantly engulfed by the fire. The record that we have as of now is that we have 3 fatalities that were instant. We have another 6 people that sustained various degrees of burns. 3 of them are at the Federal Medical Center, and 3 of them, other 3 at the Jai Hospital, where they are receiving urgent medical attention. I've been briefed by both the Commissioner for Special Duties, the Commissioner for Transportation, the Commissioner for Works, and the Commissioner for Health. We've gone a step further by inviting specialists, burn specialists from Lagos, to come and attend to those that have about 80–90% burns, which require special attention. The burn specialists have since arrived at Abiodun. They will make a determination if there will be a need to transport these victims that have first-degree burns to a burn center in Lagos. Let me commiserate with those whose lives were lost by this very sad and unfortunate incident. Let me also sympathize with the victims of those who are still alive and who are in hospital and their families. Let me appreciate the first responders to this incident. Let me appreciate our transport team, particularly men of the trace. and the fire service, who are the first responders, because if not for them, this might have become much worse than we saw. I understand that there's some victims that were very lucky, and I want to join God in thanking God for join them in thanking God for their lives. They were actually in one of the vehicles, or two of the vehicles, but they managed to escape unhurt while the vehicles were completely burnt. It is very unfortunate that a bridge that has been constructed to solve one problem has now created another problem for us, because we have road users whose vehicles are not roadworthy. I have discussed with the Ministry of Transportation. We will begin the enforcement, the serious enforcement of ensuring tankers and tanker drivers operate vehicles in Ogun State that are roadworthy. They will now begin to check those vehicles to ensure and confirm when last were they maintained, do they have the adequate safety equipment, how well are they mechanically operating. Because this is not the first time we're experiencing this in Ogun State. We see a lot of this happening in the Otta axis. There's a bridge in Otta that always has this kind of incident. We are also going to put measures in place to try and reduce or almost eliminate this such occurrence. Part of that, amongst others, would include ensuring that tanker drivers do not drive on our overhead bridges anymore. If their ability to control their vehicles at times now becomes a hazard to other road users, we think it best to ensure that we don't create or allow for that opportunity that it would even make room for their vehicles spinning out of control. So henceforth, by way of this pronouncement this afternoon, tankers are not allowed on our overhead bridges anymore. And we will put in place a very steep fine for any tanker driver that is caught on any of these bridges. This is a measure amongst other measures that the Ministry of Transportation will be rolling out in the next day or two. In the meantime, this tanker here is still laden with petrol. The men of our Trades and Fire Service and Transportation, alongside with the Works Ministry and Special Duties, they will be evacuating the contents of this tanker. They cannot do that whilst all of you are here watching. This is not a tourist attraction. This is not a tourist attraction. This is a safety hazard. So I want to implore with all of us that after you finish listening to me, please go about your various responsibilities and duties. I've instructed the CP to cordon off this entire area. We do not want to see anybody there or here while this transfer from this truck to another truck is taking place. This we advise in the best interest of all of us. I want to thank you very much for listening to me. And I pray that we do not see any such occurrence again. Again, I want to sympathize with the family of the victims that have lost their lives in this incident. On behalf of the government and people of Ogun State, we sympathize with them. All those who have lost their properties as well, we also sympathize with them. Those that are in hospital will do everything to ensure that they get adequate medical attention. And we'll sit down to figure out how we can ameliorate. We cannot bring back the dead, but we'll do everything we can as a government to know that we actually do care for them and those that have lost valuable properties.